I'm pleased to say we've been joined by Karen Carney to reflect on the tournament as a whole. Karen, they were so close. What an agonising game it was.
Yeah, just proper gutted, to be honest. You get yourself to a final, and I think we were favourites going into it, just because Spain had not been in that situation before in terms of major finals at international tournaments. But as you said, Gary, we were beaten by the better team, unfortunately, and the goal was won by margins, mistake, and you get punished at the top level, as all of you three know. So unfortunately, it wasn't meant to be, but on a positive note, at least it was one of them where we were beaten by the better team. It's not like we didn't try and do stuff. We changed shape, we changed personnel, we did everything. And sometimes you just have to hold your hand up and go, better team won. And we had a fantastic tournament.
How do you think the players will perceive the tournament overall, though? It's another massive plus for women's football in this country, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, look, it's a massive plus for the country, but I think for the team, I think they went in with the belief to win it. And I think they'll be on that plane back, whether it's today or tomorrow, disappointed. You're European champions. Before this game, we'd lost one game in 38. You know, we played some amazing teams along the way, and it's been difficult, but we went in as favourites, and I think the players would have gone, look, 90 minutes and we'll have this World Cup. So I think they'll be disappointed. But like I said, Spain under-17 champions, under-20 champions, senior champions, they dominate domestically and in Champions League. So when you look at it like that, Spanish football in terms of women's football is doing something really special, and maybe we have a look at what they're doing and not steal it because we've got our own identity, but just have a look at why they're the best across the whole of women's football, really.
I just want to ask you about the manager, Karen, because I think she's exceptional. I think she's been brilliant since she come and done what she's done for England. But she's been known for making brave decisions at the right times. But bringing off Daly and Russo at half time, was that too much of a gamble?
Not for me. The shape wasn't working. We've had to play this 3-5-2 because we've lost major personnel leading into the tournament. We didn't look comfortable playing the way we played for 8 months. We went into the tournament at the start and it just didn't look how we were playing. We were out of rhythm, we were out of sync. So she stuck with it going into the final, and then it wasn't working. You know, the Spanish 210s were causing us problems. We were getting done down the sides, just getting massively overloaded. So she had to. I like that. I like that she was reactive. I mean, how many times have we been at major tournaments and said, the manager, we saw it, we all saw it, why didn't they make changes? I personally can't fault her. You know, maybe we needed Russo on in terms of physicality, someone up top. I get that. But I'd rather be sat here today saying our manager was bold, recognised that it wasn't working and went with it, rather than sat here going, if only. So I have to still applaud her. And like I said, Micah, the Spanish midfield and the two full-backs are just exceptional, and they just cause us massive problems.
Who's impressed you the most in this tournament for England, Karen? I thought defensively the back three and the goalkeeper Mary Earps were fabulous.
That's not like centre forwards, Gary, to recognise defenders.
That's a very good point.
But I have to agree with you. I thought Alex Greenwood has done a brilliant job on that left side of the three. Millie Bright, you know, came into the tournament, hadn't played for 3 or 4 months, had knee surgery. And Jess Carter, again, colossal. And Mary Earps, for me, is the best goalkeeper in women's football at this moment in time. So, you know, I thought they were amazing. Going into the final, we'd only conceded 3 goals, and you know, we had to heavily rely on them because of the injuries. We wasn't as free-flowing in the attacking areas, so we had to rely on them defensively.
Karen, there is a sense of disappointment this morning, but when you look at the hurdles that Serena Wiegman had to get by and the England team had to get by, even before ball was kicked, with the injuries, then into the tournament you lose another big player, then you lose another big player through suspension. There has to be a part and think, wow, what? I know it's disappointment now, and it might be for the next 7 or 10 days. But when you look at the bigger picture, there has to be huge positivity that comes out of the tournament.
Massively, and you make some really great points there, Alan. And you got to look at world football as well. USA went, Germany went, Brazil went, France went. You know, top nations. And you're right, Alan. We had the injuries, the suspensions, injuries pre-tournament. There's been a lot of unrest really. But the one thing that we do have is a manager that is so calm. You never see the manager flustered. You never see her, really agitated, and that will always reflect in the team really. And I think she's done an amazing job. And as you said, Alan, in maybe 7 to 10 days, we'll look back and think what a great tournament for England. But just after the eve of a final, you're thinking, if only.
Yeah.
What does this mean for the continued growth of women's football in this country, Karen?
I think, look, if personally, I don't think we capitalised after winning the European Championships. I think as a sport, I don't think we pushed it enough. I still think that the attendances, yes, at WSL they grew, but not enough for me. I think the way women's game is going, there's a clear appetite, and we've got to capitalise on that. So I hope in terms of the women's game, we really do that after this World Cup, because it wasn't just England that everyone fell in love with. It was all the nations, really. It was a fantastic tournament, and we were talking about football. When you got Pep Guardiola talking about Bon Mati, that's football. We're not talking about, it's women's football and in the past this and that's happened. This is now at a level where the product is exceptional. But I think it goes back to, I did a review commissioned by the government recently into the future of women's football. And it goes back to, we still need to push the agenda at schools. We still need to improve at grassroots levels, facilities, academies, and pushing the WSL, because we can't just have this golden generation. We need more, and we need it to continually be happening.
Karen, I know you said you did the review for the government. Are you happy in terms of what they're giving the women's game and how much they're putting into it and what they can give back?
Look, Alan, you know me, I'll always be pushing for more. It's what we do, right?
Good.
And, they're in recess at the moment, so I'm sure when they come back and they've got to answer in autumn, if they don't, I'll be banging some doors down for sure, and it might be number 10. But, but we've just got to keep going. We need to keep pushing it, and I'll keep pushing the agenda as much as I can. And I have to say, you guys on here as male allies have been massive over the last however many years. As a broadcaster as well, I just want to say thank you, because we're all part of this. It's just football. Hopefully we keep moving it forward.
The one thing we hope will certainly happen out of this, Karen, as it did, I suppose, after the Euros, is that more young girls get into football, start watching football, start playing football, and schools are more open towards young girls playing football. No,
spot on, Gary. And like I said, there'll be lots of people inspired by watching the Lionesses, and that's where I go back to that. Are there enough facilities? Are schools giving the opportunities? Because there's no point being inspired if you can't play it. So that's the type of stuff that we've got to change. Are facilities adequate for little girls to go to? Are schools giving the same opportunities to girls as they are as boys? Are we increasing our academy funding, which is 88 million for boys and 3.25 for girls? So there is a disparity still, and I appreciate we're still a growing sport. And even myself, I said, look, we're a start-up business, but you can't tell me now there's not an appetite, and we have to do something about it. And like I said, we didn't do enough after the Euros, in my opinion. We moved the dial, but not enough, and we've got to keep going.
You mentioned that, Karen, and you're doing a scheme now where you're giving kids free coaching. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I teamed up with Power League, again, going back to the point of facilities. If you think about it, facilities in the past were for the demand, and the demand has only been boys and men, really. That's what it is. But now we've obviously inspired the next generation of young girls. We've got to give them the facilities to go and play. So I teamed up with Power League to get 100 free hours of training, pitch access, so they could go and play for free. And I thought that was really cool, because it's authentic to me, authentic with what I found after the review. But again, we need to keep doing that more and more. I hope it continues. And again, I'll keep pushing for it. You know me, guys.
We do. One last question before we let you go, Karen. If someone had told you perhaps 10 years ago that this is the state that women's football would be in this country right now, you'd have taken that, wouldn't you?
I would have, and if someone had told me at 9 o'clock this morning I'd be with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and Gary Lineker, I definitely would have. So, and it'd be the topic of your football podcast. So, yeah, look, I'm really, really happy. yeah, and I just want to say the team, you know, I got goosebumps. I am really proud of them, and the game is in a good spot. Can it improve? Absolutely, but for now, I'm really proud after the World Cup final yesterday.
Well, there's a downside to everything, Karen. You had to suffer us this morning. But thank you very much for your time. We very much appreciate it. Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks, gents.